So Tommy, that is the TFLpro, and this is of course the TRD-Pro Tundra. And I think we did a pretty good job matching the color, huh?
Yeah, it looks great. Plus you'll notice the wheels are exactly the same, the shifter's the same. I mean, it looks like a TRD-Pro. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, and the reason we're standing here next to the TRD-Pro Tundra is because we know this will tow. And in this episode, I think it's time to find out and answer a simple question.
Yeah, will it tow?
So today, we're gonna actually hook up a trailer, then we're gonna go get your Mercedes that you bought for some mysterious reason, the SL, and you're gonna go deliver it to the buyer because, well, it may not make it there. And the irony of that whole thing is that it's about 8,000 pounds with car and trailer, which is about what this can tow.
Yeah, for sure. So that's coming up next.
Not only are we going to compare it to the factory-built 4Runner, but we're going to see how it does now that we've lifted it and added a bunch of off-road gear. This is a pretty hard trail. I'm a little stuck, but it's figuring it out. I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed by this truck. Kent, we need your help, sir.
I bet you do. I know what that hitch weighs.
yeah, we need a hitch and we need a trailer, and you've got both, because you're not only Mr. Truck, you may not know this, but he's Mr. Trailer as well.
Yes, indeed. That's a good website to go to about your trailering cool stuff.
So what are we going to do here? What are we using?
We're using Gen Y hitch. It's a wonderful hitch.
Oh my God, that
but
is
it
huge.
does weigh a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you get a hernia, so I'm going to actually take it in 2 pieces.
Why can't we just use a regular old hitch? Why are we using this fancy hitch?
Well, because it's a cool hitch, and this is actually torsion. So this actually will flex and not stress out this, what's this thing called?
It's a Land Cruiser.
Land Cruiser.
It's basically a truck. How much does this thing weigh, Jude? Oh, 100 pounds?
Yeah, it's 100 pounds.
This Mr. Trailer there.
Oh, it's a heavy beast, but it's solid metal.
Wow, look at that.
Look at this.
Holy cow, look how high it is. Oh my gosh, where's the hole? I can't find the hole.
I wonder how much it's going to squat.
Well, that's a good thing. That lift helped. I was wondering why the hitch was so high off the ground, because this Tundra squatted, 3 or 4 inches. And we got weight distributing hitch, so that'll help too.
All right, Tommy, pull it up to the trailer.
Yep, gotcha.
So let's talk about the weight. This trailer is 4,500 pounds.
Yeah, 4,500, yeah.
The Mercedes weighs about 3,300, Tommy, is that right?
35.
Let's call it 35. So we're at 8,000 pounds. And the Land Cruiser will tow 8,500, so we're at its limit, man.
Yeah, and that's cool. And nobody knows how much it's going to squat with all the things you've done to it. So it's going to be a guessing game. Once you get there, you may have to change the height of the hitch. Whoa! That was perfect. Yeah, shut her down.
Now, Kent, this is a load trail, right?
Right.
It's a tilt trailer, which you love.
I love tilt trailers. Well, everybody that hauls much loves tilt trailers. This is a 22-footer, so you got 16 foot of actually bend where it actually tips down. So you don't pull these heavy ramps out and put them back in and all that nonsense.
That's the next big thing.
There you go.
There's like 2 things we're worried about. Wood start and will the guy have money? Both are critical to this operation. Thanks, Kent, man. Appreciate it.
Certainly.
All right, first time towing. We got about 4,500 behind us, Tommy, and no tow haul mode, but we do have this power transmission thing, ECT. What does it do?
Yes, this is your electronically controlled transmission, and when you flick it in power, it holds the gears a little bit longer, which is what we want with this load. Of course, we should talk about what it's like towing when lifted, because it changes when from stock, right?
Yeah. I mean, you've got a lot more suspension travel, so you're going to get a lot more squat, but that's why we have the weight distributing hitch.
I do feel a little bit of movement back there, but actually these old man EMU BP51 shocks are really controlling the load pretty well. They're pretty firm once you put a lot of weight back there. And keep in mind, these are shocks designed for a lot of payload. So we're back at the TFL HQ, and it's time to look at the goods we're hauling. So a little backstory, I actually bought this 1976 Mercedes 450 SL back in January because I wanted to find an old Mercedes diesel, and then like a week after I bought it, I found a Mercedes diesel. So I I don't really have much of a use for it. So a gentleman came and said he wanted to buy it, but he's down in Parker, Colorado, which is about 40-ish miles away. Anyway, here's the car. I sold it for $4,000. I bought it for $3,500, and I put about $1,500 into it.
And why are the tires such a weird color?
I don't know. They turn brown.
Why do the tires turn brown?
Look at that. Yes.
All right, now there's two things. Remember, we were worried about. One, will it start? And two, does the guy have money? So here's number one. Remember, you need both keys. Do you have both keys?
Yep.
And you need the title.
Yep.
Don't forget the title.
Yeah, and then we gotta just drive it up there.
All right.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, let's see if it starts before we drive it up there. Go get the key. Moment of truth, Tommy.
Yep. Moment of truth.
Drive it up there. Don't wait.
Close the door.
Get her up there. Oh yeah. Careful, that's as far as you want to go. Oh, you know, Tommy?
Yep.
If that were me,
Yep.
with my additional 100 pounds, no way. Goodbye, Mercedes. Are you at all sad, Tommy?
Yeah, a little sad.
Yeah? All right, well, I have to go do live show with Mr. Truck, so I'm going to leave you to do this by yourself. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah? All right. Well, let them know how it tows. I'll be curious now that it's, fully loaded.
Let's go.
Go.
Okay, so here we go. We've got the red Merc behind us. It's about 8,000 pounds, and I can immediately feel a pretty substantial difference. Now, my first little stretch on the highway here, confidence feels pretty good in terms of the chassis, so not too much lateral movement, no porpoising, none of that. But that's full throttle. We're starting to run into some power issues. Of course, we were at about 6,000 feet. And we have 150,000 miles. So it's about 95 degrees outside. And towing 8,000 pounds with 150K on the vehicle sounds a little risky, but you're missing one thing because this is a Land Cruiser. So in theory, this should be fine, but we are pushing this old vehicle to its max. All right, we're just getting off the freeway, and I gotta tell you what, I've been super impressed with this Land Cruiser. It's been holding 70 miles an hour, no problem. Well, a little bit of a problem. Up the hills, I have to go full throttle, and it just pegs itself at like 4,000. But in terms of the actual chassis, the handling dynamics, the front end doesn't feel too light. I don't feel like I'm pointing up into the air. The control has been excellent, and the temperatures have been rock solid. The only thing moving is the fuel gauge, and it's moving quite fast. So this is Charles, guys, and Charles is the gentleman buying our SL. So why did you choose an SL? What's the story there?
I grew up in the 70s and had different cars, muscle cars, and just first time I ever saw it, it was a car that I was wanting, and I just never did. Now I'm an empty nester, have no kids at home, so I could get a car like this and enjoy it. So I mostly knew doctors and lawyers that owned these back in the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing a little bit of research.
CPAs, attorneys, or doctors, for whatever reason, that's who drove them.
Well, apparently they were super expensive back in the day. I mean, they were like, the equivalent of close to 100,000 today.
I don't know. Just ever since I saw this the very first time I saw it, and I said, this is it. One day I'll have one. So
there you go.
Anyway, thank
Charles,
you.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it. Let me grab you the title.
All right, thanks.
And just like that, my SL's gone, and I'm gonna miss it a little bit because they're nice cars, and when you take the top off in the summer, you can have some really great times with it. It's just a little bit too much of a project for what I'm capable of. And the big reason I'm selling that, of course, is I got my white 300D. So a lot more videos on that over at TFL Classics. But as always, thanks for watching TFL Truck today in our TFLpro Land Cruiser. We're gonna go pour gas in it, just absolutely gush it in there to make it home. I think the old gal did well for 150,000 miles, and it's time to call it a day.